Hey Jack, how you doing?
Doing
Um,
good. How are you, Mike?
I'm good. Hey, I wanted to ask you about your tight end room. I know you addressed earlier about all you guys being undrafted free agents, but just how dynamic you guys are as far as different playing styles. You look at Trey, it's kind of like that wide receiver. Mo is just a former college basketball player. So, how would you describe how dynamic you guys are as far as different playing styles?
Yeah, I think that's what makes us such a great group. Is we all bring different things to the table. Like you just mentioned, Trey just is able to do a little bit of everything. Just from his athletic abilities, he obviously can run great routes, but isn't scared to get in there and mix it up in the run game, and can do some good things there. And Mo is just Mo has just made so many great strides and gotten become such a better football player. It's just so fun. I love Mo. It's so fun to see and to see him do well. And he's just a big guy who can overpower and make a lot of plays and is a heck of a blocker, which is just a lot of times you don't see that from guys that make that transition from basketball, and that's such a huge credit to Mo and how hard he's worked. And so it just makes us a good group, and we all get along great and have a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just a lot of fun.
How are the personalities? Obviously, with us not being in the locker room this year, we haven't had a chance to truly meet a guy like Trey. We've been around you for a number of years, but how are the personalities between the three of you?
Uh, it's hard to describe someone's personality. I don't know. I don't know. We get along good. Trey's just a good guy. He good family guy. Our wives have connected. He's got 3 kids, so it's easy to talk about life at home as it goes with that. Um, and he's just a good all around guy that makes him fun to be around, and he can make some jokes and while also coming out there and practicing hard and working hard. I've like I said from when Trey first got here, I've always respected his game from afar and what he's been able to do, and the path he's taken as an undrafted guy to now.
Kevin Bowen.
Hey, Jack. We just got done talking with Frank, and he mentioned how the run game was a big focus and the self-scouting. Any big takeaways that you had personally from just watching the run game when you guys kind of dove deeper into it last week?
Yeah, I don't know if I have anything specific to share. I think it's close. Like the run game can be. It can be so. You just got to keep running the ball sometimes, and that's the answer. Honestly, it's gonna pop. You're gonna get those big ones, and then you look at the yards, and yards per carry, and it's huge. Sometimes in the NFL, there's gonna be short runs and things like that. You try to not have too many of the negative ones, and that's what we can continue to get better at. But that's running the ball in the NFL. I think that's just what it is, and teams know that we want to establish the run, but that doesn't matter with the group we have up front. And I think the run game gets better as season goes on a lot of times, and I think that'll be the case here.
Phil B.
Hey, Jack. About to ask you a real stupid question. You're a 2-time Pro Bowler. You're known for being selfless, anything the team needs. Is there any part of you at all that worries about touches or stats? Because that does ultimately get you paid and recognized, even though I know you're a team player.
Yeah, no, I think the part that makes me me, and that's what I try to remind myself of that sometimes when I'll make a silly play or not do something that I expected myself to do, is I tell myself to be Jack, and I remind myself of that, and I do that in many ways, and I think as long as you can keep the mentality of what got you to where you are and what makes you you. I think that's the most important thing. And when you start talking about the business side of football and all that stuff, it's just becomes too much. So it's just fun to be able to play football and not worry about any of that kind of stuff.
Zach Kiefer.
Thank you.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, how's it going?
About this time last year, you guys were 5-2, and we know what happened after that. It feels really different right now than it did. Why do you think this second half of the season is going to go different, and what tells you that it will be different? And maybe what did you learn from last year that will help this time?
Yeah, good question. I think I don't know if there's. It's a hard question. I don't know if there's anything that I honestly feel different about right now. I know last year it felt like we won a lot of really close games, if I'm remembering correctly early on. And I feel like this team this year, we've proven that we can win different games, maybe, having to do different things. I think that's really important in the NFL. So maybe that's why I have maybe like you do, a little different feel for this team. I feel like in NFL, you can't be, one-dimensional, in a lack of a better way of putting it. You got to be able to win multiple types of games, because that's what it comes down to a lot of times. So I feel different in that sense, that we've grown as a team in that sense, that and gotten better, that we can, maybe win different types of games. And yeah. So I think that's how I kind of feel.
Well, last one here, Jim Aiello.
Jack, maybe this is a question better for a younger guy, but we just heard from Kenny and Frank, and they were saying that Philip's really been good about identifying one or two things to try to help maybe a guy break a tendency or something in their game they didn't notice about. Like I said, you've been around for a long time, so maybe there's not one of those things that Philip helped you with, but I was curious, did he point out something specific for you that was like, hey, this might help you not give away, or I don't know, anything like that?
Nothing that I can think of right now. I think it's more been, doing stuff on the side with Phil and just talking through things is more where I've gained, where his brain's at and how he's thinking, and learned a lot from him from, we got together a few times in the summer and things like that. And through the Zoom meetings we had in the spring, and he's a football guy. He understands football so well. It's like having another coach on the field, just the way he gets it all. So it's definitely a benefit in that sense.